With no previous expedition or wilderness experience, I set myself the goal of traversing the Brooks Range solo. This 2.5-month expedition is considered one of the toughest solo expeditions on Earth. It involves over 1,000 miles of hiking and kayaking across Arctic Alaska. After 3 unsuccessful attempts, I stepped away from the Brooks Range with no immediate plans to return.
Not many people would do what he's doing, and his approach on life, I guess. John has this ability to think everything's possible, you know. You push yourself to do it and train right. John's training is just like all the time. I have no idea why he chose the Brooks Range. I have seen photos and videos of the Brooks Range that John has showed me, and it looks horrible.
The second 2 attempts were a bit of a waste of time. I knew it wasn't going to work, but when you've been training for 11 months, it's really hard to admit to yourself that it's not going to work out. But as much as I convinced myself that it was going to happen, I knew that my knees and my back and my psychological state were nowhere near up to what I needed them to be to cross the Brooks Range.
I'm feeling pretty awful, emotionally. Physically I'm feeling alright, but emotionally pretty awful. But just trying to take it one step at a time. Work on getting to camp tonight, and then we'll start afresh tomorrow.
When I first set myself the goal of crossing the Brooks Range, I had this kind of idealistic dream about being out in the wilderness by myself and it being all beautiful and great and physically challenging, but being able to cope with it. And I realized that I was very naive in many respects, but I've started it and I've invested so much into it that I have to finish it. I need to finish this to be happy with myself, I guess. I don't know if I could ever really accept not being able to complete this.
Well, I can't say that I'm particularly thrilled about him going back for another attempt. Patterns have a habit of repeating themselves, and obviously it's a pretty dangerous place to be on your own. There's going to be immense physical challenges and immense emotional challenges.
My poor parents, it's been really hard for them because they've seen how much time and money I've put into this, and also the damage it's done to me physically and psychologically. They've seen the depression after the unsuccessful attempts. They've seen the chronic injuries that I've had to deal with. So, and on top of that, they've got the added worry that their son's not going to come back from Alaska. So for them, I think they hoped after the last attempt that that was it and they could put it behind them. So my going back is definitely not easy for them. I was too obsessed with the expedition to realise that what I was doing wasn't working. With my training, I overtrained. I did things like weights, which was unnecessary and just damaged my body. I was so overawed by the scale of the expedition due to my inexperience that I overcompensated by training so much. And the training I did, a lot of it wasn't relevant. So this time around with my training, I'm trying not to do anything at 100%. All of my training, I want to stick to around 80% and do lots of it to get my fitness really high, but so that I'm not damaging my body. Taking the year off was the best thing I could have done. It's allowed my knees and my back to recover. I've also been getting prolotherapy, these injections, which have done really great things for me.
When you inject glucose superficially, and it's only 5% glucose with no lignocaine or no local anesthetic, it actually starts the healing process and reduces the peripheral nerve inflammation.
Being in a relationship now is a bit of an adjustment. Everything in the years previously with the Brooks Range, I was living with my parents and was very confined in my own little world. But having someone to train with is making it both more fun and it's taking away some of the rigidity that I've I've had with my training. We did a trip to Kosciuszko National Park. It was her first time winter camping and she did really great. And I really needed to rekindle my love with being in the outdoors. I had so many bad experiences with the Brooks Range during the course of these attempts. I kind of lost a bit of that desire to be out in the wilderness and out in the backcountry. And so being out there with her on just a fun trip where I didn't have to worry about life and death and successes and failures and just enjoying being out in the wilderness was a really great thing, and it made me realise how much I do enjoy the backcountry. It's perfectly natural to feel the way I was feeling, and it's not my body telling me that I need to get myself out of there. And it's kind of broken down a barrier, because now I know that I'm going to feel awful. It's going to be absolutely terrible, but hopefully a couple of weeks into the expedition I'll start getting more comfortable, and also I wanted to challenge myself. That's the whole reason I'm doing this. So it's kind of a bit ironic that I freaked out so much at what I was going through when what I was going through is exactly what I was after all along. You don't need to cross the Brooks Range or climb Everest or go to Antarctica. All you need to do is something that is really challenging for you, and then that is your Brooks Range. And for me, my Brooks Range turned out to be a lot harder than I expected, but I'm the idiot that set myself that goal, so I'm the idiot that's got to finish it off.
John's a nutbag.